Hi, this is Jundo. Welcome to Tree Leaf. And from today, we're going to begin a series of sit-alongs on basic Buddhist teachings. Really basic. This is really a continuation of our series for beginners, but it's for everybody. We're going to be covering some things that every Buddhist needs to know. And of course not know, because we're Buddhists, we value not knowing. But today are some things you really have to understand about Buddhism. And the idea that the Buddha proposed that we're going to discuss today is one of the most elegant, most basic, yet simplest ideas. And if you ask me, if he had proposed nothing else, this that he proposed that we're going to discuss today and its cure is worth the whole price of admission to Buddhism. I would bow down endlessly in the Buddha's direction just for this. And you may ask what this is. Suffering and its cure. Now you hear a lot of times that Buddhism is about life is suffering, and that therefore Buddhism may be a very pessimistic religion. It's all about growing old and getting sick and dying. Far from it. You see, the Buddha very helpfully also proposed a way out of this. And Buddhism is thus a way of peace and joy and being one with life. So let's get down to it. The story begins when the Buddha was not yet the Buddha, when he was just a guy. Or actually he was a prince, so not an ordinary guy, but he had a very, very sheltered life. According to the legend, they kept him in the palace. One day he sneaks out, and what does he see for the first time? He sees an old man. He'd never seen an old person before. He also sees someone who's very, very sick, and a dead body. So he realizes, oh, life is growing old and getting sick and dying. Now you may think that the Buddha then thought that life is suffering because we grow old and get sick and die. No. Come close. Come close. Listen to me. No. Life, said the Buddha, is suffering only when we grow old and resist, do not fight the growing old. It's when we're sick and we don't let it be. It's when we're dying and we don't allow life to take its course. You see, according to the Buddha's idea, there's ourself and there's life and the world, and we're always conflicting like this. I've had a day today with life and people who disappoint. Life and us, we're always like this. Well, Buddha realized if you drop the resistance, allow, go with the flow, yourself melts away. In a nutshell, growing old is only a problem if you cling to staying young and fight growing old. If you just allow growing old to be growing old, when young be young, when older be older, when sick be sick. We don't have to like sick, but part of us can also, yield to it, be free with it, come to terms with it. Same with growing old and dying. We can even allow the dying, even drop all idea of life and death and just cast our arms and let the world take us where it will. See, that was the Buddha's idea. Not that getting sick and growing old and dying is the problem. It's fighting it, resisting it, wanting life to be some other way than just the way it is in that moment. Now you may be looking at me and saying, Jundo, that's all well and good, but that sounds kind of tricky. How do you just let dying happen? not resist. Nobody wants to die. Same with being sick. What are you talking about? Listen, come close. Listen to me. Listen, come here. There is a way. And you can taste it for yourself. Right in our just sitting with what is shikantaza zazen. If you've been practicing just allowing zazen, dropping all resistance zazen, dropping likes and dislikes zazen, you will even begin to taste those moments when life is just what it is. Let it go, man, let it go. We so much can get the feeling of just being in the flow, that there's no us in the flow, there's just this flowing. You brought me into this life, you brought me out of this life, carry me where you will. There's not even a me. We just sit, dropping the resistance, dropping the judgment, dropping the categories, even life and death, and just being with what is, allowing, yielding, going. We are just the going. And somehow, even though we don't want to be sick, I'm not going to tell you that being sick is ever fun. Somewhere in there, it's okay. Somewhere in there, we find that just being as things are now, when I'm young, I'm young. When I'm 50 years old, just as I am now, that's fine. When I'm 60, 70, let it be. When I grow old and die, I don't want to die, but still part of me, let it be. Shikantaza. We'll talk more about this in the coming couple of days. And the series will continue with some other beautiful Buddhist ideas. Shall we just sit with that? Life growing old?